49%. It's a massive number. Nearly half of all strokes happen in a very specific, incredibly dangerous biological window of the day, the morning.
Right. And if you're waking up and taking your blood pressure medication first thing with your morning coffee, which is exactly what millions of us have been instructed to do, you might actually be leaving your heart completely defenseless right when it needs armor the absolute most.
We're calling this the Midnight Protocol, the lethal timing of blood pressure medication. The medical establishment's standard instruction to just pop your daily tablet with breakfast, it might honestly be one of the most underappreciated, catastrophic mistakes in modern hypertension management. We've uncovered data that completely shatters the false security of that morning routine. Think of this explainer as a life-saving clinical leak. The evidence we're about to walk through is going to change exactly how you look at your medicine cabinet.
Part 1. The Deadly Morning Surge. Your cardiovascular system isn't just some flat, predictable line. We're essentially looking at a biological crime scene here, where your heart faces extreme daily stress, and it all revolves around a hidden internal clock.
So in healthy adults sleep, blood pressure naturally drops, like 10 to 20%. It's a resting state called nocturnal dipping, but there's this violent shift that happens next.
Exactly. Between 4 a.m. and 10 a.m., as your cortisol rises and your body gears up for the day, your blood pressure sharply, aggressively spikes. Now, for anyone over 60, your arterial walls can stiffen by up to 30%. They just lose that youthful elasticity, and that turns a totally natural morning wake-up into a high-stakes cardiovascular event, the morning surge.
Part 2. Routine chemical sabotage.
It's right exactly during this perilous morning window that our everyday, seemingly innocent breakfast habits are actively chemically neutralizing our life-saving prescriptions.
Take beta blockers, for instance, like metoprolol. This medication is designed to act like a brake pedal on your sympathetic nervous system. It slows your heart rate down and reduces the force of the contractions. But then you add caffeine. And caffeine is pure adrenaline. It slams on the gas pedal. Taking your pill and drinking your coffee in the exact same 30-minute window means you are violently mashing the gas on the brake at the exact same time. It's a massive mechanical failure inside your body.
Listen to Margaret. She's a 68-year-old patient who shared this disturbing realization. She said, coffee at 7:30, pill at 7:45. Why did no one ever ask what time I had my coffee? She seriously thought she was having severe anxiety attacks every single morning.
And she wasn't alone at all. Look at the Mayo Clinic data tracking over 3,000 patients on beta blockers. There's a 22% higher incidence of symptomatic, dangerous palpitations simply from this morning chemical clash.
So to stop this sabotage, there's a strict clinical protocol, and honestly, it is non-negotiable. Step 1, swallow the pill with a glass of water just to stabilize the absorption.
Step 2, you have to wait a minimum of 45 minutes for your stomach to actually clear. It's only after that 45-minute window that it's safe to drink your caffeinated coffee.
Next up is what we call the 72-hour blackout. You know, a lot of people know grapefruit interacts with some drugs, but they rarely grasp just how severe it is.
Right. The compounds in grapefruit, furanocoumarins, effectively disable a specific digestive enzyme called CYP3A4. Think of this enzyme as your body's security checkpoint. When it gets knocked out, calcium channel blockers don't process smoothly at all. Their concentrations in your bloodstream literally skyrocket up to 5 times the intended dose. And this blackout, it lasts for a full 72 hours after just one single glass.
Which brings us to Robert. He's a 72-year-old retired electrician. He literally stood up from the breakfast table and collapsed. His wife had bought this new citrus juice blend, and he just didn't read the label. His blood pressure plummeted to a terrifying 86/52, and clinical pharmacology data out of Toronto backs this up. They show a 31% higher rate of dangerously low, hypotensive episodes for patients who consume grapefruit within 3 days of taking their medication.
Part 3, the nighttime fall hazard. Let's shift our investigation over to water pills, diuretics. Taking this specific medication at the wrong time of day acts as a totally preventable catalyst for catastrophic, life-altering injuries.
44%. Just let that number sink in for a second. According to a massive Harvard-affiliated hospital analysis of nearly 15,000 patients, taking diuretics after 2 p.m. results in a 44% increase in nighttime falls that require an actual trip to emergency care. The chain reaction here is terrifying. You take the pill late in the day, your bladder fills up in the middle of the night. You wake up at 2 a.m. and you stand up in the dark.
And boom, that triggers orthostatic hypotension. It's a massive, dizzying shift in your blood pressure. These nighttime falls are actually the leading cause of hip fractures in older adults.
And the really grave reality here,
A hip fracture for someone over 70 carries a devastating 20% to 30% one-year mortality rate. 1 in 4 won't survive the year, all because a pill was taken at 6 p.m. instead of 8 a.m. So here is the clinical safety protocol. This is what gave a 74-year-old patient named Patricia her life back and completely stopped her chronic nighttime waking. Take your primary single diuretic doses before 10 a.m., and if you're on a twice-daily routine, that second dose has to be taken strictly no later than 2 p.m., no exceptions.
Part 4. The double dose trap.
This is where we look at a fatal, highly dangerous psychological reflex. It's the trap of trying to quietly make up for forgotten morning pills.
Think of your arteries as flexible tubes that are under constant pressure. A single dose of your medication creates a gradual, completely safe relaxation of those arterial walls. But when you panic and you take 2 doses at once to make up for a pill you missed that morning, you trigger a sudden, steep, and violent collapse in your vascular resistance. In an aging body that already has reduced vascular tone, that sudden drop causes fainting and dangerously insufficient blood flow to your heart and your brain.
Johns Hopkins actually tracked this exact habit over 5 years, and the results are genuinely shocking. Patients who doubled up on missed doses had a 38% higher incidence of an emergency hypertensive crisis.
There was one patient who was found completely unconscious on his kitchen floor. His blood pressure had crashed to 79/48, purely from this totally preventable double-dose reflex.
Part 5. The 45% solution. This is the ultimate revelation. Everything we've investigated so far leads us straight to a monumental clinical leak that actually solves this entire crisis.
Think about the biological timeline for a second. You take your medication at 7 a.m. By 9 a.m., it reaches its absolute peak strength in your bloodstream. But remember that deadly morning surge we talked about? That hits between 4 a.m. and 10 a.m. So by 4 a.m. the following day, your morning medication has been draining out of your system for 20 hours. You are facing the single most dangerous cardiovascular window in a 24-hour period, exactly when your medication is at its absolute weakest. Your heart is completely defenseless.
Which brings us to the HYGEA trial. This is the largest study ever conducted on blood pressure medication timing. We're talking over 19,000 patients. And they did one incredibly simple thing. They moved the dose to bedtime.
And cardiovascular death, heart attacks, and strokes plummeted by exactly 45%. 45%. It proves that by simply timing the dose at night, the medication hits its maximum peak exactly when that morning surge arrives. The surge slams right into a pharmaceutical wall.
Take the case of Eleanor. She's a 79-year-old former opera singer. She religiously took her pill every single morning. Her daytime doctor's office readings, absolutely perfect. But she was controlled at the wrong time of day. Underneath all those perfect daytime numbers, hit a lethal 162/94 morning surge that was happening while she slept. Her safety was a complete illusion. It was totally invisible until she switched to the evening protocol. Now, we do have to put our objective researcher hats on for a second. A separate UK trial of about 21,000 patients actually showed no statistical difference, which obviously sparked a massive clinical debate.
The science is definitely still settling, but what is absolutely settled across the medical consensus is that bedtime dosing has not been shown to be harmful, and for so many people, it offers a massive life-saving benefit. So here's your concrete action plan. Ask your doctor for a 24-hour ambulatory blood pressure monitor. You literally have to map your own exact circadian pattern to see what your heart is doing in the dark.
We want to leave you with this final, chilling question. Is your routine morning habit quietly sabotaging the only defense your heart has left?
It is absolutely time to entirely reevaluate your daily routine. Take this data, take this explainer to your next appointment, and demand better answers.